back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. In today's video, I'm super excited to have you meet baby Sky. She is almost 2 weeks, making sounds over here. She is almost 2 weeks old. I wanted to get up a 1 week update, but with everything, with 3 kids, it's been tough, let me tell you. But before we get into today's video, which I'm also going to talk about postpartum care and just me overall and how I'm feeling this 3rd time around. But before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm so thankful that you're here, and let me know if there's anything that you would like me to film this time around for baby number 3. I am super excited to take you along this journey with me again. My first baby, I was not on YouTube, but I love documenting everything for motherhood to help new mamas out, as well as just document to have it for memories as well, because it's really nice to look back on these videos and kind of like my own little journal. So I'm so happy that you're here and that you continue to follow along with me. Definitely leave a comment, say hi. I would love to get to know you. And if you like this video at the end, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. So let's get into postpartum 2-week update. So to start off, I will have you meet Miss Sky. I have her over here on the Snuggle Me Organic, which she seems to like. And if you're wondering what that sound is, it's her little white noise. She's obsessed with this sound. It's kind of like the shushing sound. I'll turn it off for a minute. But it has different stuff. This is really cool. It's called a dream egg. They actually sent this product to me. I will link this below if you want to try it out. I'm obsessed with it. I took it to the hospital with me. It has tons of sounds, but that sound that she loves is very similar to the much more expensive shusher. It's called like the baby shusher, which is like 40 bucks. This is definitely not 40 bucks, but I think it works just as well. That's like her favorite sound. But yeah, this time around I did splurge and get me a Snuggle Me Organic, which she absolutely loves. If you don't know what that is, it's basically just like a baby lounger, but it kind of like mimics kind of like a hanging feeling, and it hugs them because there's no padding in the middle. So like the pillow just kind of hugs them here. So I am going to bring the camera closer so you can go ahead and meet baby Sky. So here she is. She just had some milk, so she is like half asleep right now, very drowsy. I love these Muslim oh my goodness, what are they called, swaddles, and I have to remind myself how to swaddle again. You would think after 3 kids, but it's amazing how much you forget. And this is an itsy ritzy little unicorn. Now I did get a bunch of itsy ritzy pacifiers because they're so cute, but she is probably my most particular baby, and I ended up purchasing this one, which is by Medela, and it has a flat nipple. She didn't seem to like the itsy ritzy or the bibs quite yet, which is weird because all my other babies liked them. So I'll go ahead and unfold her. I know I don't want to disturb you, but I want to show our friends. Oh, she is currently still a newborn. This is a newborn, or no, this is zero. This is a newborn onesie from 0 to 3 months. Oh, it's okay. See how it has a flat nipple? She loves these. Oh, it's okay, honey. Oh. Okay, let me bundle her back up for you. But yeah, there she is. She loves being bundled up, so let me go ahead and do that. Poor thing. She didn't have any birthmarks or anything like that. My son did have a little birthmark. They call it like a little cherry. I think it's called like a hema. I can never pronounce it, but if you probably know what I'm talking about if you watched my other videos. I cannot pronounce that. But she loves being swaddled like all babies. She's been scratching her face, even though I did file her nails, but this is like, these are a lifesaver. I hate the little mittens. And her little umbilical cord, I'm not going to show, like, disturb her, but it has already fallen off. She had a bath at the hospital, and then I did give her a little sponge bath a few days after. So she's probably had about 3 baths, and I'm going to give her a bath, like a more fuller bath today, because you don't want to get the little cord wet. So, but when it falls off, you're able to give them more of like a full bath and not just like a sponge bath. So if you're probably wondering what this is, I bought this with my son because it didn't happen with my daughter, but he kind of had a little bit of a flat head. And so I bought this for him. He didn't end up needing the helmet. His head is completely fine and everything, but he did for a period of time look like he was going to have like a flat head, which is why I bought this. She has a really rounded head, and he did too at birth, but you know, that's why you want to make sure that you're doing tons of tummy time and they're not in the same position all the time. And that, if you're going to, like, especially if you're using the Mamaroo or maybe in the bassinet for just like nap time and lounging, this is something good to use. Now, you don't want to use that for like regular sleeping, but she seems to like this pretty well for lounging. And yeah, that's baby Sky. I'll show you her bassinet in a minute. Here is her bassinet over here beside my bed, and this is actually by Little Dove. I'll link this below. I love how it has like all this storage, so I keep like extra swaddles and burp cloths and stuff, and I have my diapers and wipes over here. And then this is also like a canopy, and you can roll this around. Now this also opens up on this side, so if you want to kind of like it's a bedside bassinet. So if you want to move it closer to your bed, switch it around and have it opened like literally to where they're like right up on your bed, you can do that. Now my bed, I can't because it's so low to the ground, and there's this doesn't fit under my bed. But if you have a high bed, I definitely recommend this one as a bedside sleeper. I bought it anyway because I loved it so much. But honestly, she hasn't been sleeping in this too much. I've been sleeping downstairs. I have another bassinet downstairs, and she seems to like that one better. But she has taken some naps in it. But it comes with this I bought, but it does come with a really nice soft pad. So I just think this is a really cute, neutral tone, aesthetically pleasing bassinet. I love it. All right, isn't she cute? She is absolutely adorable. I cannot get enough of her. I mean, all my kids, I cannot be more thankful. I feel truly blessed to have 3, healthy babies. And, no matter what's going on, I always think about so many things. Birth is a very, I don't know how else to describe it, as it can be very high anxiety and stressful because, it's just so many different things going on, so many factors and things like that, it's, it's just scary. It can be very scary. So that relief that you feel to meet your baby and just know that everything, I'm going to cry. So my emotions are everywhere right now, which is completely normal for postpartum. But that feeling that you feel when they put them on your chest, and just the relief of meeting them and knowing that everything is okay, it's just so surreal. And I cannot be more grateful and thankful for my babies. So I don't know if you've watched my birth vlog yet. I kind of got it up late. This video will be up after that one. Just trying to get settled in the last 2 weeks. If you're new to my channel, I do have 2 other small kids. I have a 4-year-old daughter named Ava, and I have a 2-year-old son named Eli. So just getting settled in has been an experience, but honestly, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. But I've also had a lot of help. My mom took off a week to help me with the kids. So I've been just focusing on Sky, spending some quality time with her. My husband is off sometime as well. And that's been a lot of help. And I've just been able to spend some time with her. There was a couple of days where I have watched all 3 kids. And it wasn't really that bad, but I can't imagine not having the help and just having to recover while watching 2 kids and a baby would have been really hard on me mentally and physically and just everything. So just make sure if you're about to have a baby that you have things set up for somebody to help you at least for that first week if you have other kids. I would recommend the first 2 weeks because you're not only physically recovering, you're mentally, emotionally, just everything is just everywhere. And now, since we're on that topic, go ahead and check out my Postpartum Essentials video. I talk about a lot of products and things like that, and I go more into detail about postpartum care and things like that. But yes, this is going to be the first time I'm talking about the birth experience and just everything since my birth vlog. She was, if you haven't, I'll just give you a little brief summary if you didn't watch the birth vlog, but go ahead and check that out as well. If you haven't watched it, she was born almost 2 weeks early. I was super surprised. Thought I was having like false contractions, false labor, Braxton Hicks, because they were not painful. They were very sporadic. Never experienced contractions or anything, you know, my other pregnancies that early on. But yeah, my due date was April 14th and she was born on April 3rd. So about 11 days, 10 to 11 days before her due date, which my other kids were really pretty much spot on. My daughter was born a day after her due date and my son 2 days before. So I was expecting her to come maybe like 3 or 4 days early, but not this early. So, I mean, yes, I did have my hospital bag packed. You want to make sure you have that packed by at least 36, 37 weeks. So it's like I had that stuff done, but I wasn't like mentally prepared. And I still had, I was in my mind still had like a week left. But that was my fault. I should have just been prepared. You want to, if I can recommend anything, doesn't matter how many babies you've had, whether it's your first or your fourth or whatever, you never know what can happen. Every baby's different, and you just want to make sure. I would recommend having everything prepared that you can, mentally, whatever, mentally as well, by the time you're like at least 36 weeks pregnant, 36, 37 weeks pregnant, because at that point you're full term, 37 weeks, and the baby can come at any moment. So if you're finishing up stuff at work to go on maternity leave, just keep that in mind, because I was really, you know, I'm you know, there's nothing wrong with her coming early, but I was just very bummed that I just, you know, I don't know. I wish I would have had more done earlier. I just really did not think she was going to come that early. But we are doing good. I feel amazing. I feel like this is my best recovery. And like I said, if you haven't watched the birth vlog, I did have a fully natural birth. Fully natural birth. It was pretty traumatizing for me. Just because I have never experienced pain like that. I had an epidural with both of my kids. And you know, I didn't feel anything from here down. So yes, I felt the very painful contractions when you're like, you know, 4 or 5 centimeters dilated. You get to the hospital, and those are painful. And when they check your cervix to see if you're dilated, ugh, that's the worst. But I've experienced all that pain. But I never actually, but after that I was like epidural, smooth sailing, sipping water, talking to my mom and my husband, and was able to like just really enjoy the birthing experience. Because I do enjoy, I think it's beautiful. I do enjoy the hospital experience, everything. But when you're in that much pain, you're not thinking about anything except getting that baby out. And when I got to the hospital, I was already like 6-7 centimeters dilated. And literally from the time I got to the hospital to the time I had her, it was only like an hour. It was the most excruciating pain that I have ever, like, I didn't actually get to film the actual birth, which is another thing that I'm bummed about, but I'm, you know, it's okay. I've come to peace with it because I was able to experience natural childbirth. And probably nobody would want to see all of that anyway, because I was literally like, I was screaming. It, like, everybody handles pain differently, and I think I have a pretty good tolerance for pain. But it was like crazy. I was screaming, like literally, like I was shaking. My legs were shaking. I couldn't stop. It's like I couldn't control like my lower body. It was just shaking. That's what I remember. And I just remember saying that I wanted an epidural, and I was telling the nurse staff, like, you guys are going too slow, because it felt like everything was moving in slow motion. But apparently I had only been there for a short time. But literally when the anesthesiologist came in, and like I said, I talk about this more in my birth vlog, But when he came in, he looked really nervous. I remember seeing his face and he looked nervous. Plus, like, I was moving all around, so like they were trying to cover me, but I was like just very like all over the place. I was like wide open. And I just remember when he came in, I'm like, I felt like she was just coming out. And I'm like, and the nurse kept telling me, if you feel like she's going, if you need to push, then you need to let us know. And so at that point, it was like she was there. I felt it. I was like, she's coming. And he couldn't do the epidural. So I had it completely natural. But that being said, this has been the best recovery out of both of my kids. I did tear, which I do tear with all my kids, but it wasn't that bad. It was only like a 2-degree tear. It wasn't that bad, honestly. And I think it's because of the epidural. I do believe that the epidural kind of slows, because when you have an epidural, I feel like you really don't start feeling anything down there or any type of pain until you get home, until maybe like 3 or 4 days after you give birth. Because you're also on medication. I had to have a lot more medication. I had to take iron with my son, which messed me all up. So I just feel like this has been really good. You know, besides the annoyances of constantly cleaning yourself and stuff, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty healed. I was a lot more crampy this time around in the hospital. Like, that was like basically the only, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't even take pain medication. But I was on Motrin, and I didn't have, you know, just normal bleeding. Everything has gone really good. I did have some swelling in my ankles when I got home, but I think that's because I went for a walk like the day after, well, no, maybe 2 days after I got home, and that was probably not a good idea. So I recommend that first week, just, you know, you and your baby, get some help, relax, watch some Netflix shows, just relax. Do not be on your feet a lot, because you're just going to decrease the healing process, and you're going to cause swelling and stuff like that. So yeah, my first recovery was like, you know, I didn't know what to expect. But looking back, it wasn't really that bad. And within 2 weeks, I felt good. That's how you know it's a good recovery. My son, he was 9 pounds 4 ounces. I had a 4-degree laceration. It was literally from like the whole perineal area, and stitches all the way into my butthole. Okay, the whole area. It was horrible. Plus, I was on a couple different pain medications and iron, because I lost a lot of blood. So honestly, it was probably a good month or so before I really felt like myself again. You know, TMI, but it was just like the whole using the bathroom was horrific. I mean, that first bowel movement you have is going to be scary. Don't, you know, especially if you have stitches, it's going to be scary, but it shouldn't. Honestly, once you do it, you're good to go, especially if you're on a stool softener, which you will be. I'm still taking a stool softener. I usually continue to take it for a few weeks, and just make sure you're eating a well-balanced diet, drinking lots of water. I don't have it with me right now, but I'm also taking a breastfeeding supplement to help with milk, which I'll talk about that area in a minute. But yeah, so that experience was horrible. So I was really dreading this time, really dreading it. But honestly, I have to say, I feel really good. I mean, other than not having a lot of energy, because you're not sleeping fully. I usually wake up like 3 or 4 times a night, sometimes more, it just depends. But because you're already having your mind that you're gonna have to wake up, you're not like having a deep sleep. So I still wake up feeling kind of tired, groggy, but your body gets used to it. You have a newborn, it's completely normal. My kids didn't start sleeping through the night until maybe like 4 months. So overall, and I am gonna show you, you know, a belly shot. I am about 2 weeks. I'll be 2 weeks postpartum. Let's see, what is today? Oh, and pretty much in like a day and a half, I'll be 2 weeks postpartum. I really wanted to get this video up at 1 week, but I could not find the time. So yeah, I am, as far as feeding, she's doing really well. Her latch is the best latch out of all my kids, and she was constantly on my boob when we were at the hospital, to the point where I had bleeding nipples, and which was my fault. I should have, you know, it's not because of her latch, because I did talk to a lactation consultant. She just has like I have really sensitive nipples, and she just has like a really strong suck, but I should have brought my nipple shield and I didn't. So it kind of messed me up, and I couldn't breastfeed her for like a couple of days, which thankfully I don't think it really hurt my milk supply. I don't have an overabundance of milk supply anyways, but I couldn't do it for 2 weeks because I had to constantly keep putting the nipple cream, which make sure you have some nipple cream, and my milk came in and I was doing like cold packs and hot compress, and it was like really uncomfortable for that first like 2 or 3 days. So I definitely recommend, you know, especially if you're first time breastfeeding or whatever the case is, make sure you bring like a nipple shield, because those first 2 days your nipples are going to be raw. So nipple cream, nipple shield, just because you don't want your milk to come in like mine did, and you're not able to pump or have her nurse because your nipples are like scabbed over, which that never happened to me before, but she has a very, very strong suck, like suction. So yeah, but I don't know if you know this, but I do have a breast augmentation. It's probably been almost 10 years. So I still get my milk, but my right boob, which I've had 3 babies, so I'm pretty sure that it has to do with the surgery, because I did have to have 2 surgeries on this boob because I had a hematoma. So, you know, like it's under the muscle, so it didn't affect like my nipple area or anything, but this breast, I don't get as much milk in as this one. And there is a little bit of nipple like underneath right here, like feeling like sensation loss. This boob though is the one produces the most milk, and my kids always latch more on this boob. I don't really know why, but they do. So I'm doing a combination of breast milk and formula, and do not feel bad if you cannot exclusively breastfeed. What is most important is that your child is fed, they're happy, whether you do all formula, exclusively breastfeed, a mixture of both. You know, do whatever works for you, and don't let any, you know, I learned this the hard way with my first baby. I struggled comparing myself to other moms and feeling and beating myself up, especially about breastfeeding, because I'm like, I really wanted to exclusively breastfeed. And you know, I researched, I bought things, you know, it's not like I didn't try, and this is my 3rd baby, and I still can't seem to completely satisfy them without at least giving them 2 to 3 feedings of formula. And you know, that's okay. So I just feel I'm at peace with it right now, that, you know, I'm glad they were able to get that colostrum in the first couple of days. They're still getting breast milk, but I'm also giving them formula. So there's nothing wrong with that. Do not let any moms make you feel bad for anything. You know, breast milk obviously is, you know, it's coming from you, so that's what it's meant for. But in this day and age, we also have formula, which is good as well. So do not let anybody make you feel bad. It took me a little bit to really, you know, people would tell me that, but I still felt bad. But I don't feel bad. My baby is fed and they're thriving, and I would rather have a fed and thriving baby than a baby that's constantly fussy because they're hungry. So with that being said, let's see. So yeah, I literally, I'm trying to think of what else that I wanted to update you on. Oh, the kids absolutely adore her. It's so cute hearing their little voices. They're like, baby Sky. Ava thinks that she's her little doll baby. It is the cutest thing ever. I'll put some footage here of them meeting her for the first time. They came to the hospital. It was so cute. And while we're on that topic, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I post tons of stuff there. A lot of, you know, reels and pictures and stories. So if you want to stay, you know, follow along with me on Instagram, I'd love to have you over there as well. But yeah, everything is, you know, I definitely do feel the mood switch, which is completely normal. Like, I'll have days where I'm like, just like sad for no reason. I'm just like, but I just know that it's like the hormones. It happens with all my babies, and I'm sure if you're a mom that has a baby, you would know about it. I'm not like depressed or anything, but I'll have days where I'm just like, oh, I don't know why, I'm just like not in a good mood, where I'm just sad for no reason, and then the next day I'm like super happy and motivated. So yeah, it's just, that's completely normal while your hormone levels and everything are leveling out. But it's been really nice to just slow down, because if you don't know, I am a full-time working mom. You know, like I'm literally only home 1 day a week with my kids. I have Sunday, Mondays off. Sundays is like our family day, and then Monday is my day to be with the kids. My husband has off Wednesdays to be with the kids, and we're both off on Sundays. So all the other days I'm at work, you know, and you know, my daughter's in preschool 2 days. My mother-in-law watches my son, and she will be the one watching Sky when I go back to work. But you know, it's just like constantly going. So it's been really nice to just slow down. And I'm trying not to, you know, there's some projects and things like that I want to get done, but I'm really just trying to take everything in and slow down and just, you know, self-reflect, evaluate, and just, you know, take a breath. Because at least when I can look back at my maternity leave, I can be like, you know what, I slowed down, I really enjoyed my babies, and that's the most important thing. You know, don't try to like get all these projects done around the house, if you know, and do all this stuff. This time is to spend time with your family and your baby, because honestly, I'm, you know, as a full-time working mom, not to say if you are a stay-at-home mom, you know, I would love to be a stay-at-home mom, even if it's only for like a couple years, just to have that time with my babies when they're small. I would love to do that, but unfortunately, you know, in this day and age, we cannot afford to do that with one income. It's just impossible to be able to afford everything on one income. I know it's possible, it just depends on your situation. But you know, me and my husband both have good jobs in the property management industry. I love my job, and so does he. So you know, we do very well managing everything, and I think our schedule is amazing, but it can be hard at times because it can be very tiring. We come home, you know, dinner, baths, go to bed, you know, try to play with our kids, and then you're starting right back over again. So I just really wanted to focus on slowing down this maternity leave. And you know, my dad is also coming to visit, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, I just want to like take everything in. I mean, it's normal to want to like, oh my gosh, I have all of this time, let me do this, let me do that, let me do this. Like, it's completely normal. I did that with my first baby, and I remember thinking, you know what, I should have just like relaxed more. I should have just like, sometimes you just want to sit there and hold your baby and rock her for like 2 hours and just take it all in. And that is completely fine. I encourage you to do that. Coming from a mama of 3, just slow down, take everything in, and don't worry, you know, about any projects or anything like that, because you're never going to have this much time with your babies if you know, are working full-time and stuff like that. So I think that's all that I wanted to update you guys on for 2 weeks postpartum. I will definitely be doing baby updates for her. You know, things are going to be a little bit more chaotic since I have 3 kids, but I am definitely trying to stick with a YouTube schedule. But I have some great content coming up, so definitely stay tuned. Before I let you go, I am going to show you what I'm using to help my stomach along with getting everything back to normal. And then I'll also do a stomach shot of how it is looking now. So this is from Belly. So I'm still wearing my maternity pants. They're kind of big. But this is from Belly Fit. This is a postpartum girdle. I have one in extra large. I went ahead and did the BOGO where it was like buy one, get one free. Because you're going to want to have one that is, you measure yourself when you're pregnant. Right now this is an extra large. I just have it on the first bracket, but as it helps your stomach go all back to normal, and it's just like regular underwear here. You have your underwear and your pad underneath if you're still bleeding. And then as you go, you close more in, and it just kind of helps get everything back together. So as you see, I still kind of have like a pooch here, which I'll show you. But I also have this in a large for when, you know, I am back to my pre-pregnancy weight. This will still help my stomach get back to normal. So I definitely recommend some type of girdle or something to help you along. So I'm going to show you how my stomach looks without this. Okay, so here is my stomach. Sorry, I have lines from the girdle, but here is my stomach without it. So I definitely still have like, this is definitely still jiggly, which is completely normal. Especially that first week, you're still gonna have, right after birth, you're still gonna have like a belly. It has to all go down. It's gonna be very soft and jiggly. Don't let that make you feel bad about your body. You just had a baby, okay? Your body is amazing. Your body is beautiful. You have to give yourself time to heal and for it to go down. I did get a few stretch marks. Where are they? I don't know if you can see because I'm all indented from, let me turn this down. Let's see. There we go. That may help a little bit. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So I had a few stretch marks like right here, which I didn't get any stretch marks with my other two babies. So I have a few here. I had a belly button ring, which I haven't had in since before my first baby, but it's a little bit stretched out. And then this area just feels like really tender. Like, I don't know. I think with my son, who is huge, kind of like hit a nerve or something here. So I'm always like really tender right here. But yeah, still very jiggly. Got to get this to go down. I'm not obviously cleared to work out yet, but definitely excited to do my Peloton bike and do some pelvic exercises and ab exercises to get this area back to being strong. And I've always kind of had like a pouty belly button, but I feel like it's even more pouty than it used to be. But you know what? I think that no matter what stage you are, it's all beautiful, and I'm excited to start working out and excited to get back to my pre-pregnancy weight. So yeah, that is it for this video, 2-week postpartum update. I am so glad that you got to meet baby Sky, and we are just so in love. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for more videos, baby updates, postpartum, lots of motherhood and lifestyle content for the rest of the year. Again, I hope you liked this video, and I hoped it kind of gave you an insight into postpartum. Definitely check out my birth vlog and some of my other videos that are linked in my at the end of this video. And I will see you in my next one. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Bye guys.